Rap Radio. Raw and uncut.
Cubo, and welcome to Chicano Rap Radio. I'm your homie Snipes holding it down, and today we have a very, very special guest in the house. We have Twixxy joining us fresh off her big performance at the El Velorio event this past weekend. How you doing, Twixxy?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you joining us. I saw your performance this past weekend, as I mentioned, at the Velorio. And, I'm a huge fan. You did great. You killed it. You have a beautiful voice. So, I'm looking forward to telling your story. You're starting to get a lot of traction with your music and, being signed to Trejo's music. But before we get into some of your current projects, I want to get a little bit of background information. So tell me, how you got into the music and what kind of influences you had, and how did Twixxy become an artist?
When I was younger, my older sister, Melissa, she was in, my mom had her singing. So my mom literally had a group for my sister. I was 5, 6 years old. And my older sister was just, doing shows and singing and going to the singing teacher's coach and working on an album. And I just remember always telling my mom, I want to sing, And one day before that happened, it was one day I was watching a novela with my grandma, and it just dawned to me. It was what do I want to be when I grow up? And I literally thought I want to be a singer. And that's what I just kept telling my mom, I want to be a singer, and, I like to sing, Mom. And I was really small. And I also remember one day, and my mom was mopping the whole house, and I got up in a chair and I started to pretend to sing. And ever since that, my mom didn't really believe me, and I was writing my own songs too as a child. And my
Wow.
mom, yeah, and then my mom, she took my sister to she was recording something, and the producer was there, and my mom wouldn't listen to me when I was little, but then one day I told the producer, I wrote this song, can I sing it to you? And I like to sing. And he said, okay, sure, go ahead. And then I sang, and that's when he was whoa, this girl can sing.
Yes, you can.
And then that's when my mom was she noticed me, and that's when she started putting me on to sing. And then at that time, I was super influenced by Celine Dion. Just my mom had this CD of her whole performance in Vegas. And I would play it so many times that my family would be oh my God, can you just put something else? I would be there in the living room, just, with the mic, and just pretending to be her. And
Yeah.
And I just started off like that. I started off singing music that's mariachi, and also Celine Dion type.
That's probably why you have such a big voice. I mean, for Celine Dion to be one of your influences, I mean, that's it shows in your style and the music. I've been watching your leading up to his interview. I went back and I listened to a lot of your things. I mean, the things that you even have on SoundCloud and, on your YouTube channel and everything. And wow, I can see the evolution, and I noticed that a lot of it is mariachi. Where did that come from? The influence from that. You do a lot of you did some mariachi songs, but you do a lot of Spanish artists. A lot of very strong female artists. Where'd that come along?
My mom. My mom literally growing up, she always chose these I don't know, as a kid, they always chose, my mom always picked songs that were really hard to sing.
Yeah.
And coming from artists that are just very they get down.
Yeah.
And Ana Gabriel is a huge inspiration for me. I've always sang her songs. Rocío Dulcán, another one, I've been singing her songs forever. And Alicia Villarreal, I can't even pronounce the last one, and I feel bad. But I also Juan Gabriel is definitely, a person that I just I'm like amazed by. And a
Yeah.
lot of people tell me that I sound like Ana Gabriel a lot when I sing mariachi. And I just ever since I started singing Spanish, I've always noticed that like people gave me a like their reaction was just like more like connected, and
Yeah.
they just
I,
basically like are people just they feel very connected like when I sing in Spanish, and I've noticed that a lot.
it- and one, I think is maybe because they have a connection to the actual song, but two is just there's so much emotion in these songs that you're singing, throughout the whole song, all the different changes in the voice and the expressions and
Yeah.
it's just I can just you can feel it, when you sing it, you can feel it. And I was just thinking right now that you actually sound the way you're supposed to sound. Most of us, when we sing something, when we sing along to something, we think we sound just like them, and then you hear it back and you're like, oh wow, that's way off, but you actually sound like that. So
Thank you.
that's pretty awesome. And I've seen some videos where you're just singing into like a live microphone, and you can hear like your voice just really stands out in the room. You could sing a cappella, and I feel like you're just hitting those notes, and it's just powerful. So that's awesome. So you started off at a very young age. You were inspired by your sister and your mom, and you felt like you had to prove yourself, so you kind of went on your own first before they actually like, wow, she really does have a big voice, and what's the age difference between you and your older sister, and she's still involved in music?
She's not. So the my sister, we have a 4-year difference. She is 4 years older than me, and the funny part is that we were also enrolled into like dance classes when we were younger. So I was really flexible when my mom had us in tap dancing, hip hop classes, jazz classes, and tumbling, which is like kind of like gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, like her dream was to be like she just loved to dance. Like she got down with her break dancing, and she would even have dance battles. And like she would always tell my mom, like, I don't like to sing, no me gusta cantar, like stop making me sing.
Yeah.
Because my mom was the type to be like, you're gonna do that shit. And she would be so strict when we were younger. I was just telling that to a friend the other day that I'm like my mom before a show, she would literally not let us eat ice cream. She would literally be like, pónganse a practicar. Like she would be so like just
She was a
like that.
momager.
Yes, she was.
Well, sometimes we need that, like you need to push your kids a little bit, because maybe, they don't see what you see. And sometimes that's the only way to get it. And, for your sister, it seemed like she found what she was into, and, perhaps she went that direction. And then you found what you were into at a very young age. Now, what does she think about you now, where you are now with the music? Like, what are her thoughts on that your music has evolved, and now you're in a place where you can take it to the next level?
She definitely, she always, I think she thinks like she just loves my Spanish as well. And she always tells me like, you just go, ride till the wheels fall off, sis. Just,
That's right.
just keep on doing your thing. And like she's always rooting for me. Like, and sometimes like I come to her with an idea, and she's just like you're crazy, Diana. Like my real name's Diana.
Yeah.
She'll be like, dude, you're gonna look dumb. Or like she's just like, are you serious? And then next thing you know, like one thing I did a music video where I had all these skaters inside of like the Venice skate pole, and I had like smoke bombs coming out, like pink smoke bombs, and I had a pink dress. And I had already told her about that shoot, and she was just like, dude, you're crazy. Like, what are you? And then in the video, you could clearly see her telling her friends like, oh my God, this bitch really did it. And she's just like, oh my God. And then
Yeah.
she's just like, hey, you surprised me, because when you tell me things, I think you're crazy, but then you do them. And then, I'm just like amazed,
Yeah.
So
You're
that
not
definitely,
crazy. You prove you're not crazy.
yeah, I prove that I'm not crazy. She's like, okay, now that I see it, she's like, you don't, she like, is for it, but that's how her and my mom are like growing up. The audience would be like, you did so good, like, you know, you did great. But like my mom and my sister are like my critics, you know, they just come to me and they'll be like, you know, they'll tell me how it is more than like people.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think she's just proud of me. And whenever things come by, she's always like honest and, you know,
Gives you
straightforward.
feedback. Yeah, good. That's
Like
good.
they
That's what
say,
we
no,
need.
yeah, like they say, no tiene pelos en la lengua.
We need people to give it to us straight sometimes, you know, even when it's things we don't want to hear. But at the end, you
Yeah.
know, as long as you're progressing and you're being better than yesterday, then you know that's okay. And I want to say, you know, with some of the videos that I've seen, most of the videos that I've seen, your confidence really shows through. I mean, you have a good voice, but your confidence is just amazing. And I think couple that with your voice, I mean, it just makes for a more powerful song. I really loved your cover of "Eye of the Tiger." I think I watched
Woo!
that yeah, and you hit those notes, and I was getting all pumped up. I wanted to go and
Thank
like
you.
run up the rocky stairs and everything after that song, you know. So yeah,
Man, I love that song. I'm
yeah,
so happy that you listened to it and that you like enjoyed it, because like I tell people, like I tell myself that as growing up, it was like I go hard in like specific both genres. Like I go hard singing Spanish, and then I go hard in songs like that, like Eye of the Tiger, or like, you know, I've been singing Eye of the Tiger since I was like younger. You know, I remember going on the street once and I was just like had the phone and I was just like singing it, and this homeless guy, he turns around, he's like, sing that shit, girl.
yeah, no, you definitely, you know, have a lot of flexibility and a lot of variety in the kind of music that you can do. Let's take a quick little break and we'll be right back. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Hit us up at 805-395-6595 for your special requests, dedications, and shout-outs. Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with the one and only Twixxy from Trejo's Music. We've been talking about her influences growing up as a child and discovering that she wanted to do music at a very, very young age. She has developed so much as an artist since she was little to the point where she's at now. And I think she's on the verge of really, you know, breaking through and taking her music and her career to the next level. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know you do a lot of cover songs and you do these cover songs definitely justice. You know, everyone that you've done from Spanish music to English music, I mean, you know, you do it just as good, and in some cases, maybe my personal view better, but you do a great job. But I also know that you're a songwriter and I know you have some original content. So tell me about some of the songs that you've written that are close to your heart, and why are they close to your heart?
The songs that I've written that are on YouTube are Put It on 100, and I have Never Looking Back. And on SoundCloud, I have like maybe like 8 songs that are just there that were never released. It's just when I was going to the studio and just like recording my written work. And Never Looking Back is a song I wrote about my sobriety and about like just saying bye to that old life, saying bye to the things that were just not working in my life anymore. And Put It on 100 was just, you know, a more like upgoing song, more like energetic, you know, like more energy, more inspirational, like to go and do things. And you know,
have Always on Time. I'll keep that.
Oh, thank you. I'm like so happy that you know that you went through my SoundCloud. Like that means a lot to me. Thanks.
Well,
So Put It on.
yeah,
So all of
tell me a
those
little more about that
songs.
one.
So like when I got sober, and it's weird that, you know, it's not weird. It's definitely meant to be. But when I first started to make music again, which was like 3 years ago, I had told myself that I just wanted to write, and whatever was coming out for me, like to produce and write, was going to be about God. And I told myself that, you know, that's why my SoundCloud, all of the songs are mostly about God.
Yeah.
And, you know, I still want to do that. but definitely sometimes I get distracted, like doing other projects. But God reminded me again. He was like, hello,
Yeah.
you said,
I'm
stick to
always
your word.
watching.
Yeah, he's like, aquí estoy, no te olvides.
Yeah.
So I, it definitely, when I write music, that's the genre that I would love to do. I would want to be a Christian singer and sing a lot of good music for God, and compose, and maybe even do something that has never been done before in the music that is made for the Lord. And I would love for God to use me, for his good. And
As a vessel.
yes, as a vessel. Yes. And
That's cool.
so it's amazing that this interview comes, because I was just having a conversation and I had been like kind of lost, because I kind of forgot about that. And then, I had even been telling my friend at work, because we were conversating about it, and they were like, everybody has a genre, like a look, like that they're going for. And I'm kind of like all over the place. Like you said, like I do the mariachi and I do good. And then I do like the Eye of the Tiger, which is kind of like a different thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been thinking about that too. And I'm always saying, what genre am I going to go for? Like I don't have a specific one, but I know why. Is because God wants me to just do that. And that's what I had chosen to do. And now I know that that's what it's in my heart to go for and stick to. And not just that, but positive music and just things that are going to be for the good.
Right.
And for the glory of God, of course. And that's the genre that I would love to go for, and just be known by the world, and also like be heard.
Okay. Well, it's good that you have a goal or some sort of destination in mind. That way, you choose your direction accordingly. I think it is important as an artist to define who you are. In some ways, I mean, without commercializing yourself too much, I do think in order to be successful and get that message out, you have to have a clear vision of what your brand is. And most of the music out there that is mainstream, it's probably not the best message for the younger generation, or especially female. So it's kind of good to have someone who's going to bring that positive message and kind of counterbalance some of the stuff that's out there. The good thing about creating music is that it's a form of expression, and just like someone is able to express themselves and their dedication to God, someone is also able to maybe express themselves in maybe the opposite way or whatever, and at the end, the listener is the one that's going to decide, I want to listen to this person or I want to listen to that person. So keep defining who you are, and stay on the path. I think that might be, and I'm just guessing here, I think that might be one of the reasons why, for those of you that aren't aware, Twixxy is signed to Trejo's music. And from what I know, Danny Trejo is also about positivity and bringing that message to the masses. So tell me how it was that you met him, and how it was that you guys decided to work together and be signed to his label.
I met Danny when I was about 16. The way that I met Danny was I had done a competition that was called the Kidney Quest Foundation. And then I had this manager, his name was Rudy Esquivel, and he became my manager. And one night in Ventura, in this really nice place in Ventura, we were having a 3-day show. They're comedians, so they were having comedian. And then in one of the first night I sang, and it was like for me, it was like a Cinderella moment. Like it was my time of like shining, because after the first night, like people were coming the second night, like from word of mouth, that I sang really good. If you go on YouTube, that was the only performance ever in my life that literally every single body was like as soon as I was done, they all stood up from their chair. Like everybody got out from their chairs and started clapping, and you could see it like in the YouTube video, and that's never happened, not even till this day again. But it's just amazing. The third night, Danny Trejo was there with Mario, and they sat in the front, and then I sang, and then they told me, do you know who that is? Danny Trejo. And I was like, oh my God, and after that, he had a conversation with us, and then he wanted us to go to Kid Frost's huge studio that he had in like Sun Valley. It was like this castle thing. And it looks like a castle from the outside. And then on the very top, it's like a studio, which it was amazing. And so we went there, and then Danny's like, you got to listen to this girl's voice, Frost. And then, I started singing, and then Frost like turns around and starts walking. Like, like when someone does that, when they hear something dope, they just walk away, and they come back and they're like, oh my God, this girl can sing.
Yeah.
And so after that, I started working with Danny, and, we started working on music, and me and my manager like ended up splitting. So then I ended up working with Danny like completely. And I had like a party life as a young teenager. So I, word of mouth got to him. Someone told on me and said that I was smoking weed and drinking, and Danny's all about sobriety and all about doing the right thing. So he didn't want an artist that was like smoking weed and drinking. So, he had made that clear to me. And so, I didn't want to be regulated, and I didn't want to listen. So I walked away for, the time that I did, and it was bad. That's when I started to live that lifestyle. And then I came back to my senses, and then I came back, and then it was a girl group that we were trying to start. And then I left again, and it's just been so long. And then now it's like my time, like I have a clear mind. I'm like a little older now. And, before it was DT Records, and I have the shirt too, because it's like, and now we're not working with Frost, we're working with Baby Bash. So it's pretty dope because, like I have that shirt that says DT Records, because now it's Trejo's music.
Oh,
and then,
I see what you mean. Right, yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like DT Records, and he's like, it's Trejo's music now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, damn, like I'm the, like it's just special to me to know that like he started a music label because he believed in me and he loved the way that I sing. Yeah. It's like crazy. And I definitely just want to, I want to connect with Danny, and I want to produce something for the world to like, we both have a really strong message. And, I know things don't just happen for coincidence. So now here we are, and, we're doing shows, and every show I'm just trying to just think outside of the box. Before it was just like I was performing, but now like the more I try to focus, the more I can put my creativity to shine while I'm there in front of people.
Yeah. And I can see that because I mean, the voice, the talent is there, but you also got to be a showman or a showwoman, right? So you got to put on a performance, and anybody can sit there and stand in one place and sing their heart out into a microphone, but not everybody can really win the crowd unless you learn all those other little things that comes with the showbiz or the entertainment side of things. And I could see that, especially from this past weekend's performance. So I could see you evolving and elevating your craft. You recently put out a song called your own cover song to Monster Mash. Why did you decide to do that song?
I decided to do that song because I was working at a place where they had like a Halloween theme. Like they had Ghostbusters, like huge, like, like inflatable, like, monsters and stuff like that. And I was there working, and then I just thought about it. And one day I went to go see my little brother at his school before COVID years ago. And he had this little costume on, and he was going into school and they played that song, the Monster Mash. And I never had heard that song. And it was just so like interesting, and just it just stood out from all the other like Halloween songs. I went home, I even looked it up on YouTube, and I'm like, damn, like this song is super cool. And years later, I thought about, I'm like, I love that song so much. I'm like, I'm gonna just do a cover for it for Halloween.
Yeah. The visuals to the video came out dope, you know, props on that. And I also like, and I don't know if this is if you're just naturally expressive with your face, but it seemed to me like that was intentional, you know, in regards like to like the original video where the guy's just like very expressive with his face, the original Monster Mash. And I could see that. I don't know if I'm the only one that caught that, or if that was just how you just normally talk, but I love that side of it because it adds so much more to the song.
Thank you. And it's funny because I before I did the video, I was asking people like, should I do these faces that he's doing? Because, you know, he really gets into it. Yes. And I did a little bit in the video, but I didn't completely. But I was telling like, you know, someone earlier, I was like, I wish I would have just went with it and did the faces, because I was kind of scared to look a certain way. So I only did it for parts of it. Yeah. But you know.
It was enough. It was a good balance. It was enough.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, "Esta loca."
No, it's I think it adds to it a lot. If you watch the original song to it, I mean, just watching him do all those faces and the way he's singing, it's a good blend. Well, you know, congratulations on your sobriety. Congratulations on continuing to evolve as an artist. Want to get a little bit more information, you know, for myself and for the fans, and you know, continue this conversation. But we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to be right back. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're talking to Twixxy. We've been talking about how she got into the music. We're talking about, you know, her path to sobriety, defining her sound, her image, you know, linking up with Danny Trejo, and, you know, kind of continuing the growth and the evolution of her music and her career. And most recently, I mean, we were just talking about how the most recent video that you released was the Monster Mash. And I think it was perfect, you know, leading up to the Halloween weekend, leading up to, you know, Dia de los Muertos, the event that, you know, that you performed at, which was El Velorio. You know, you complimented all the rest of the lineup really well. You know, everybody there had a great voice, and, you know, again, you had a great performance. But I imagine that's not the end of Twixxy. You know, you still have a lot of things that you're working on. So tell me a little bit about the future of Twixxy in regards to the music, or some upcoming albums or singles or music videos. What do you have in the works?
Right now, I'm going to release my song Never Looking Back pretty soon, and do a music video to that with Danny Trejo and Danny's Angels, which is me, Amora, and Tara New. Yeah. Right now, since we're heading into like the Christmas holiday, I definitely want to do a lot of like Christmas carols and on my page covers. And definitely I want to start releasing music videos and songs that I write at least once a month, you know, a music video with a song, and just getting ready to work hard and grow as an artist. So for next year, you know, next year or the year after that, I want to just like focus and do an album and do that in my first album.
Cool. That sounds like a really good goal to have. Well, one of the things that's come up repeatedly with some of the other, artists that I've had on the show is that most people nowadays are doing singles. You know, not everybody's doing full feature albums. And, I think that's a good approach, because then you stay relevant, because, to put on an album, I mean, you're in the studio, depends how fast you work, but you can be in the studio for 2 to 6 months, or 8, 10 months, just perfecting it, and then your fans are just kind of Okay, we need something new. So giving the fans something every 1 or 2 months, or every 2 or 3 months, I think it's a good approach. And you can still build and work on your album. So it's good to know that you'll be releasing some music that maybe you've worked in the past, or music that you're working now. Now, do you have any like upcoming collaborations with other artists that maybe you can tell us about?
Yes. So I want to do a cover song, Árboles de la Barranca, with Jimmy Valdez. He sings more banda music, and
Hmm.
I'm trying to get with him by this month. I also have a collaboration coming with Daisy Girl, hopefully by this month as well. And an artist that I would just right now, top of my head, I mean, I would like to collaborate with Coda the Barber, do like a really good, soulful, amazing, beautiful song for the people. And Bella the Rapper would be
Oh, there you
amazing.
go. You
Yeah,
guys would do good.
yes, that'd be amazing if we can also do a song. And J Rocks as well. I could do a song with her.
Yeah,
Let's
she's
see.
there you go. So we're putting it out there right now. So J-Rox and Val the Rapper, reach out to Twixxy, and or reach out to me. Let's make it happen. Let's put the piece of the puzzles together, because I think those would be really good collaborations. You all bring something unique to the table, and I love that you all are kind of representing the culture, and it's good to see that. I love the fact that you do so much Spanish music, and a lot of the Spanish music, I feel like it's like classics, that you're reintroducing to the younger generation. So congratulations for being cultured enough to recognize those things, and to keep it relevant, keeping those
Thank
songs
you.
alive. All right, so I'm looking forward to these collaborations. I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen, with Danny Trejo, because now Danny Trejo, I know he believes in you, and he believes in his other artists. So I know he's gonna have a big push in helping you guys rise to the next level. Are there any plans to shop your music around to any major labels, or are you guys gonna stay independent?
We're probably gonna stay independent. As of right now, independent.
That's
I'm like,
that
as
that
of always.
Yeah. It's a good approach. You're going to have a lot of control over your music, and sometimes it's a trade-off. If you go with this big corporate label that's going to help push your music and get your music out there, you're kind of restricted. Maybe they have more creative control over your music. So the independent route works, and I think you have a good camp behind you, that you guys have enough connections and enough resources that you can still make some noise with your music being an independent label.
Yeah.
So really, really looking forward to that. Any last words for the fans, and anything that they should keep an eye out for in regards to Twixxy, and where can they find you online if they want to follow up on your music?
I would just like to tell my fans or anyone listening to never give up on what makes you happy. Never. I mean, I haven't achieved my dreams, or like where I want to be, but I definitely wake up every day and I think about my dream. So for anyone out there who has a dream, never give up on it, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. Age is nothing but a number. And look at Paquita la del Barrio. She made it till she was older. Look at 2 Chainz. He made it when he was older. And look at the guy who invented KFC. He was already 60 when KFC went worldwide. So for everybody out there that thinks, oh, I'm too old to make my dreams come true, that's not true. So
Yeah.
keep on believing, because this world needs us to stand up and to make a change and to be what we are supposed to meant to be.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.